All right, my G. So recently working on a little dark minimal number, and I did something to create a nice transition for my bass line especially, and I wanted to share it with you guys on a video because it's a useful technique that I often employ in my other tracks as well. And so this is basically how do you transition from one 16 bar into the next 16 bar when you've got a nice change happening and you want to kind of bridge the gap between the two sections, okay? So in this example, I've got a 16 bar loop which has a bass that kind of sounds like this. And I want to get over to my next section, which is slightly different, where the bass loop kind of sounds like this. Okay, and in this part, I basically have the same bass line, but I've broken it up more and introduced another bass underneath. So before, the bass was sort of quite long on its own like this. And this time I've chopped up the bass to have these intentional gaps, and then I've replaced those gaps with a separate kind of sine wave bass underneath. Okay, so it's a real change in the groove from what we previously had before. And so here is one cool thing that you can do to sort of bridge that gap in the transition, and that is to basically bring in that new bass groove slightly before the actual 16 bar of the previous section ends. So I'll show you how it sounds here in context, right? So you see how it kind of I'll give you a bit of a longer sort of time frame to listen. Okay, so the 16 bar block ends here at 49. So just before the end, so these two sort of bars before the end of the 16 bar, so from 47 to 49, I have this, it's almost like a little chill down section where the bass then changes already early. And then as the drums come in, you know, that's when obviously we have the new 16, but you've already kind of heard the bass change before, you know. So have a little listen from back here again. So it really works well to sort of bridge that gap over. And yeah, essentially, you know, having that sort of dip in the sort of composition where the drums come out, you know, signifies that there's going to be a change. And then because the change is quite drastic in the actual basses, the kind of loop kind of changes quite a lot, you know. It's sort of, if I just mute the drums for a moment. You know, it's not like a super subtle change in the bass groove. It does like change a fair bit, you know. So because of that change, because because it's quite different, it needs a bit of work in the transitional process to get it to kind of flow from 116 to the other, you know. So that's a great way that you can do that, and it's a technique that I employ often. And it could be, so you could be doing it with your lead, for example, or with your bass. But yeah, the key is basically bringing in that idea a little bit before the switch, you know. So having this little section where you sort of tease in the new idea, and then you switch out into the next 16, you know, having already kind of set the bar for what's going to come, you know. So that's just a great little tip, or something you can do to help you out with your transitions. Yeah, something that can work really well. You'll hear that technique on many professional tracks as well, and something that the AI wouldn't be able to figure out either. All right, my G's, that's it from me today. So thank you very much for watching. Just a little mini tip for you guys. Let me know in the comments if it helped you out, and I'll try and do some more kind of workflow videos as well going forward. But yeah, leave a like and a comment. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new, and also check out the links in my videos as well for preset packs for Vital, Serum, Phase Plant and Current. And come and join me on Patreon with a great community. We're doing our next group feedback live stream soon as well. So come and join our Discord if you want to take part in that. And also hit me up for one-on-one lessons. Hit me up for mixing and mastering work via email. Everything's linked down below. All right, that's it from me today. More from me very soon. Much love.